Welcome to Right Talk with Mike Lee. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Ordinarily, I say that I'm honored to have someone for a guest, but today this show is maybe a little different than the other shows, in that it's really dedicated to Zone 15, and I'm not honored to have this person as my guest. I am blessed. This gentleman next to me is affectionately known as Big Boo. His real name is Michael Battle. And we go way back. We go back, I was at least 4 inches shorter and 150 pounds lighter, 100 pounds lighter. And I hadn't seen Mike until the other day Mike got here. I hadn't seen Mike since 1968.
Wow, yeah.
Exactly.
It's been a while. It's been a while.
But Mike was, he's a life changer. He's from Lincoln Heights, as am I, Zone 15. Shout out to everybody out there in Zone 15. You seen my glass. I checked in already, so you know I still don't have any sense. I'm still me. But I want to talk to Mike about just some things, just about things about life, about where we're from, what we learned, some of the things we went through, and some of the things I just want to share some of our experiences with you. Now, Mike. I went to Lincoln Heights schools all my life. Mike, let's see, I was in Lincoln Heights School. I think Mike had two brothers, Greg, who we knew as Tootie, and Charles Chucky, who we used to call the Who. And they all were good athletes. And they had a hard driving short daddy that wasn't no joke. For real. And but Tootie went to Colorado State on a football scholarship. Chucky, the Who, went to Bishop College on a baseball scholarship, and Mike went to George Washington University on a basketball scholarship.
Right.
Mike was a hell of a basketball player. He's bigger than everybody else. He's not just big. He wasn't big and skinny. He's big, thick, man. You run into it's like running into a wall. But we had there are a lot of things that he and I shared together. I mean, we all walked around in our birthday suits in locker rooms and all this kind of thing. Basketball, we had the killer basketball practices with coaches that were crazy. Yeah, they were crazy.
Yeah.
Coach Hiller?
Yeah.
Salt?
Yeah, Coach, yes.
We just had 3-hour practices and you can't drink water?
Right.
That's crazy,
Yeah,
boo.
yeah, I know. It was something. It was really experience, you know.
But
yeah.
we came up in a very special place, I thought. I've grown to learn this. I didn't know that at the time. At the time, we didn't think it was that nice a place. We never realized how blessed we were until we grew up and got a little sense. It's a shame you have to live about 25 years before you begin to acquire any sense of appreciation for life. But I remember most of all our basketball practices more than anything else. Because the basketball practice would start at 3 o'clock, and we might be there till 7:30, because he'll act like act like we lived there. We have 3-hour practice, run 11-man H and all this good stuff, real drills, and start off running over 30 laps around the gym, which is about a mile and a half. But practice used to last about 3 hours. And one thing I always liked about us was before the Battle Boys came to Lincoln High School, we had a pretty good Pee Wee basketball team. We had a Pee Wee basketball team and the nucleus of that team later won the state championship. That was the year after Mike left. Mike graduated in 69, right?
69, right.
and I think Gay and Joe Key and Lofeld and them won the championship the
Yes.
year after you left.
Right.
But when Mike was there, I think Mike led he led the city in scoring just about.
Yeah, just about the entire year.
You was in a neck and neck tie with Derek Dickey, right?
Derek, right.
Derek was at Purcell.
Yes.
They had a good squad too. They
They
had
had a dynamic team.
it
They
was
had a
just
really
it
good
was
team.
Dickey, they had David Luke, Jimmy Burbridge.
Jimmy
Those
Burbridge.
three I knew.
Right. Robinson. Who else did they have? Hazlett. Hazlett, yeah. They had Hazlett on the squad also. Yeah.
You know, Lachlan had some good teams back then too. He
Yeah,
had
they
Sensi
did.
Ball, had Chucky Ballou, and
Chucky Ballou, yeah.
I think Michael
Uh,
Burton.
Now, then they, where did Sensabaugh go?
Sensabaugh was at Lachlan.
Yeah, he was at Lachlan also, and he was quite a good athlete. He was a dynamic athlete.
That boy was
Yeah,
bad.
and he played baseball also. He was a really good pitcher.
And Wyoming had good squads too. He had
Yeah.
Skeet over there, and I think Bubby Pipes was over there.
Yeah.
But Skeet was the truth.
Yeah.
Skeet
was
played
really
with the
good.
Knicks.
Yeah, he
played with the
did. He
Knicks.
played with the Knicks. He played for the Knicks for a year or two, and then I believe he went to Detroit, and he played with Detroit
Oh, he
for a
did?
while. Yes.
He played the Pistons.
Yeah, and he stayed there, and that's where he's making his home now, somewhere
Okay.
outside of Detroit. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Timmy Hawes is up that way.
Oh, okay.
Now your brother Greg was in my class.
Right.
He was a hell of a football player.
Yes, he was.
He
Yes,
turned out
was.
he turned out your lights for real.
Yeah, he was a hitter. There's no doubt about it. Greg could hit. He would hit. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. He. I mean, unfortunate as it was, a couple of players, left in ambulances because of being hit. He was definitely.
Was that the one at Lachlan?
I think there was a lock.
I know somebody in Lachlan.
Yeah.
He clocked somebody in Lachlan. And he damn near killed him, man.
Yeah. I think Redding also, he hit some kid really hard and had to be carried off. So yeah, he was a really good football player. He really was.
Now, Tootie played with Gay. Greg Stemrick was a hell of a guy, too. He played, Gay played with the Oilers for about 8 years, I think.
Yeah.
He played with Earl and Bob Brazil and White Shoes Johnson, C.O. Winning, a bunch of guys. I met a lot of those guys because he and I were always close, and we always kept in close contact with each other. But he passed away last August 2nd. Now, Lincoln Heights.
Yes.
How'd you like Lincoln Heights, man?
Well, it was a very
Looking
safe,
back.
Yeah, looking back, I mean, it was a safe environment when we were there, meaning that like things that are going on now, so far as people being afraid of the police, we had no fear of the police. The police were not, there as a threat to us in any means, and it was a very safe and close community. Everybody knew everybody. I mean, I don't think there was anybody that even moved in or whatever didn't have any ties to.
Now you know
Lincoln
what
Heights.
you know what I found out, Boo. I would say in the last 5 to 10 years or so, I didn't know that as many people were related to each other. I didn't know it was like that.
Right.
I did not know. I knew the Hunters and the Favors and the Jacksons were related.
Right.
But you probably didn't know I was related to the Crawfords.
I did not know that.
Okay.
Yes.
And my now wife producer, Nathalene Matthews, her aunt, Michaeline, was in my class, was married to my cousin.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't know, you disclosed yesterday was that you didn't know Nathalene was, you didn't know that was Nathalene's aunt.
Right.
You thought Michaeline and Nathalene and Sharon were sisters.
Yeah, I did.
And a lot of us thought that.
Yeah.
I thought that myself until I met her in 1982.
Oh, okay.
And then I found out that her mother was classmates with my sister.
Oh, okay.
As a matter of fact, in Tiny's book, Tiny has a book. Carolyn Davis, remember Tiny?
Yeah, I do.
She has a book that's like a pictorial history of Lincoln Heights. In that book, she has a picture of a baseball team that has a picture of Nady's mom and my sister. They were on the same baseball team.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But our home now is Lincoln Heights is just about gone. And it breaks my heart and grieves me deeply.
Yeah.
Because when we grew up, it was like, I didn't think of it as a good place to be then at that time. But I have grown to realize that it was a hell of a place.
Yeah,
Real,
it was.
we had everything we needed was there except for cleaners.
Yeah,
You had
right,
to go to Lockland to take your clothes to the
right,
cleaners, Tony's or something like
right,
that.
right. Yeah, and we didn't have a bank either. There
Didn't
was
have a
no,
bank,
yeah, it
no.
wasn't a
You had
bank,
that savings and loan that was down there,
Yeah,
right across the street from, right behind that gas station that was on the, Tony's was here, the gas station was here, and the bank, there was a savings
Right.
and loan right there.
Yes,
And then there was a bank over in East Lockland.
yes, yes.
We didn't have a bank, but Mr. Lau had a savings and loan up on Jackson and Leggett.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
never
my
knew
sister,
that.
my sister used to work there.
Oh, okay. Never knew that.
Remember where Hilltop Market was?
I do.
Cat a
yes.
quarter from Hilltop Market was savings
Okay.
and loan.
Wow. Okay. Wow. I didn't know that.
Yep.
Didn't know that. Yeah.
Had a drugstore
Yeah.
and everything.
Wow. Well, I know we had the teaching and the coaching we had, like Coach Hillard that you were talked about. I didn't find this out until years later that Coach Hillard was drafted by the Globetrotters.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was drafted by the Globetrotters, and as opposed to playing with the Globetrotters, he was also drafted to serve in the military in the Second World War, and that kind of like deterred that ambition so far as the playing professionally, because back then the Globetrotters used to play basketball.
Yeah.
They played basketball for a long time, and they beat a number of professional teams, and it got to a point that professional teams would want to play the Globetrotters because
They might lose.
Yeah, they'll lose. Right,
They might
right,
lose.
Right. And every now and then in practice, he would go into his routine. He was the guy that would make all the fancy passes,
Right.
and he would just have you just cut. You just say run, and you throw the ball to him, and he'll get that ball to you some kind of way, some sort of, behind your back, between your legs, and all that sort of stuff. But he was very talented, and he really knew the game.
Was a good guy too.
Yeah, he was.
Good guy.
He was.
Mr. Hiller was a good guy, crazy. He was a little crazy, but Salt was really crazy.
Yeah,
Salt
yeah,
used to,
Salt,
Salt used to say all kind of crazy stuff.
Oh yes.
Call your name.
Oh yeah. Coach Salters was something. He really was. He was something. I tell you, especially on game nights. He didn't hold it back. He didn't hold anything back. He'll let it out there. So, you knew where you stood with Salt. There's no doubt about it. I remember once we were playing a team in Hamilton, and Larry Softball was the starting defensive tackle, and Southall had the team that we were playing in Hamilton. I don't know if it was Hamilton. I can't remember exactly who they were, but they were pretty big. Like so far as it was a huge team, and I remember Southall had an equipment issue right before the game started, and the coach threw me in. He just made me go in and play, that position. And I guess the Hamilton had recruited, and they knew who we were by numbers or whatever, and no one really recognized my number, and I almost got to the quarterback. And that was the first play. And the second play, the only thing I remember was seeing stars. I was looking up, and so they didn't let me in that second time, so they got me out of the game, which was a good thing.
You didn't want to play football, and he really did.
Nah, I did not. I really didn't have any love for football.
Oh, yeah.
I really didn't. Yeah. So basketball was kind of like my passion, and we started playing baseball from the time we were 5 years old.
Yeah.
And that was just a community thing. That's what we did. We played baseball. Baseball was the first sport. And,
Right.
Everything else was just kind of like, it just happened.
Everything else you did till baseball season came around.
Yes, absolutely.
Was filler.
Yes.
Because basketball, I think I don't think you really took. I don't know that you took the basketball before you get into high school. But boy, after Battle Boys came to Lincoln Heights, man, it's like we had a big man. We hadn't had that before. We had some Pee Wee. We were all about the same size. I think the biggest guy we had was Lowfield.
Yeah.
Before
okay.
he got the biggest guy we had was Lowfield.
Yeah.
Because I think Gerald Williams came the same time.
Yeah,
you
right,
did.
because he came from St. Simon also.
Yeah.
Right.
Gerald came the same time you did. But before that, Lowfield was the biggest guy we had, man. And because Lowfield used to play post. Lowfield, Renda Hunter, and Joe Keys play post.
Oh, okay.
And Curtis Smith.
Okay.
Those were our postmen before. Yeah, they were the biggest people we had. But when you got there, man, it's like, all right, we gonna be all right now.
Yeah, yeah. It was really
It
something.
changed things.
Yeah, it was really something. I mean, it was some great athletes. You know, I played with some like the guys you named, and other guys. Of course, when I first got there, I looked up to people like Ralph Hunter.
Right. Donald.
Yes. Leroy,
Leroy.
and several other guys. Donald Darby.
You
Was
know,
there.
Leroy Williams was the first person I knew who had it with a head fake, man.
Oh, okay.
I think Magic Johnson must saw seeing Leroy, man. Leroy's this thing, man, to
Yeah.
throw you off, man.
Yeah.
I never seen nobody do that to me before.
Yeah.
He used to do that when you run that drill, that 11-man ace drill.
Right.
Remember, man, Hillard, man, used to get mad at us sometime and make us run 11-man ace for like 45 minutes. And you do that weave and all that.
Right.
You're running the whole time.
Yeah, and some of his tactics also. I think we talked about this. The fact that to shoot a layup, you had to jump over a chair.
Yeah,
He
man,
made you
jump over a chair.
in order to shoot the layup, and that's how he taught us. And
And
no
the-
one got hurt.
And the big men had to touch the backboard
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
You had
nobody
to
got
jump
hurt.
over the chair and clear the backboard.
Yes.
Yeah, mercy on me. I didn't have to touch the backboard. I
Yeah.
couldn't have done that. I couldn't have done it in them days anyway.
Yeah, it would be insane, to think that you're coaching guys like high school players and have them jump over a chair in order to, to learn how to shoot a layup. But we did it, and we did it.
Yeah, but then he had the other crazy thing he used to do. Remember, like at the end of practice, he'd make you play. He'd match you up size-wise and make you play one-on-one whole court. One-on-one. No, you could foul anything.
Right.
World beater.
Right.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
And if you lost, you ran.
And you ran. Yes, that was the penalty.
But it made us. We were pretty good. We were pretty good.
Yeah. We were dynamic. We were a really good team. Of course, we played single A ball
Right.
versus double A because we just didn't have the student population in order to
But most of the people
qualify.
we played in the league were big. The schools were bigger than
Oh
ours.
yeah, they were. Yeah, just most of them were double A schools. Yes, most were. Yeah.
I just remember practice. I remember most of all that crazy ass world beater game. But then during practice, we would, we get in. Everybody had fights. I remember one time. You may not remember this, boo. But I remember one time you did something to me, man. And I lost my. I know I lost my mind. I ran up here. I told him I'm gonna fight you, man. I was looking straight up. I'm thinking, I don't know what I'm gonna do with your big. I don't know what I'm gonna do with your big self. I'm gonna do something. We were crazy, man. I mean, it's crazy, man. Because but in fights, I'm sure I had fights with Gay, Lofel, Othel, Jokey. Everybody had fights with everybody at some point. But even though we had these fights and stuff like that, by the time we get back to the locker room, it's time to go. We'd forgotten about it.
Absolutely, yes.
And the other thing was, if nobody else in the neighborhood messed with anybody on the basketball team, you had no trouble.
None at all.
None.
Yeah, we were a close group. There's no doubt about it. And it was like, I think that we symbolized like a pride thing for the whole community. As game nights, the stands would be packed and standing room only, And even before the teams even got better later on, we were, we always had the athletes, but we just didn't have
the equipment.
we didn't have the equipment, right?
We didn't have any facilities.
Yeah, we didn't even have a weight machine. For years, I think I was maybe a sophomore or junior before we
Junior or
even got
senior
weights.
before you got 110-pound weights.
Yeah, before we even got weights, it was just all natural ability is what it was, And so we did the most with what we had. And we, I think we really, the last few years, the last 3 years, I think that my sophomore, my junior and senior year, and then when I left, when the guys won the state championship, those were like the golden years so far as just the top quality players. We got a lot of scouts coming to our games. Guys were getting scholarships and things like that,
Guys on the bench was getting scholarships.
Yeah, yeah, we had talent galore, galore. Yeah, yeah. Then and I was mentioning to you before, Mike, is that we had a team that you could not press. If a team tried to press us, it wouldn't last for maybe one or two plays because we had Coach Hiller had a play for us. You take the ball out of bounds, we would just form a straight line all the way down the end of the court. And while they're trying to press us, we're throwing the balls over their head. And so they didn't know what to think. I mean, other than we're getting quick scores.
Yeah.
And then the coach would pull them back and say, hey, no, don't press them, you know. But it was kind of interesting, you know.
But you know what's hurt most of all is the years have passed. It's like as the years pass, the more years pass, the better I appreciated what we experienced. And unfortunately, we're starting to lose those. We lost Gagey passed away last August 2nd. Joe Key passed away like about 10 days ago.
Right, right.
And it's like every time something like that happens, it's like I pause. It like affects me for a couple of days.
Right, right.
Because I mean, like we were really close. We were like, you know, we practiced together, showered together, walked up the hill together. You know, we did everything we did. It was a bunch of us.
Right, right, yes.
You know, we hang around the gym till Salt and them kick us out. Then we had to walk home.
Yes, yes.
And you know, it's so much that we shared. We spent so much time together.
Oh, we did.
And they took us through so much together. But
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
I always thought that when I look back and I look at things, I always think of Mr. Holloway. Because to me, Mr. Holloway was the architect of all that.
Oh, okay, okay.
He later became, Mr. Holloway later became superintendent of Cincinnati Public Schools.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah.
And one time when I was home for a while. At one point, I was keeping my nephews and taking care of my mom. I went by Mr. Holloway's house. I wanted to ask him what he thought his greatest accomplishment was. And he thought it was the merger. Now, I thought it was the fact that he put that thing together. Like, hey, he brought all them people together.
Right.
He bought Salt. He bought Hillard. He bought mean ass Miss Kelly.
Right.
You know, you missed her. I know you probably heard about her though.
Yeah.
I mean, she was that rough, man.
Yes,
She was rough.
Yes.
But we were in a really, really special place.
Yes, we were.
And we did some crazy things. And when we did crazy things, I always, you know, at least for me, if I did something, my thing was Mr. Starr was the principal. Mr. Starr, won't you? I want him to whip me because I didn't want to be turned over to Salter Hillard.
Right.
Because that was worse than any swat you would get.
Yeah, yeah. No, I avoided that also.
Well, that wasn't a good thing.
Yeah,
Man.
yeah. I would opt for detention.
You know, anything but that.
Yeah, yeah. It was serious. I mean, they really cared about us too. They really, really generally cared about the athletes.
Yeah.
You know, more so than the final score. They really knew how to work with us. You know, with their backgrounds that they had, and it was all legitimate. You know, and during that time, of course, we didn't have to worry about teachers, doing things to students or anything like that. You know, it's like it was just a different time. You know, like I just don't know how to describe it. You know, when I do discuss our days back in Lincoln Heights, it was just unique.
I was just on the other show. I was talking with Rob Muhammad and I think his name is Josh. And what we've lost, to me, and I work as outreach and engagement director for the Travis County Republican Party, which is not easy to sell, by the way. But what we seem to have lost is our sense of community. For example, in Lincoln Heights, we could walk around anytime, day and night, anytime.
Right.
Nothing was going to happen to you.
Right. You're right.
Nothing.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Nothing. Nothing. And it's like many of us were from large families. I think it's just you, Boo, Tootie, Gay, Boo, Tootie, who. It's 3 of y'all.
Right, right.
It's like 11 of us.
Uh-huh.
But 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 kids was like the going rate.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was like almost like standard.
Right, right.
When I think about that, like the Fords, there was a whole bunch of Fords.
Oh, yeah.
Whole bunch of Andersons.
Andersons, yes, yes.
Hunters,
Right.
Jacksons, a whole bunch of them.
Browns.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
Just
yeah.
a whole bunch of them.
Oh, yes, it was.
But what happened was, we were all, it's almost like we were all in it together.
Mm-hmm.
And we were more like brothers than neighbors.
Right, right.
More than anything else. I feel, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, there's a certain sense of community, a certain camaraderie that we had.
Right.
That lasts even up to now.
Right, right. True, true. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yes, yes. Yeah,
You know,
we were definitely a unique group, and we just looked out for each other. I mean, it was like not even a conscious thing. It was like kind of a subconscious, unconscious thing that we would look out for one another, and that's what we did. You know.
Well, we didn't even ask. I was on the other show. I was about to say, and what I wanted to say to them, or wasn't able to say it because I had to leave there, is that it seems that of all the things that we've lost, that's what is most bothersome to me.
Right.
And that's most what we need to get back to.
Right. Yes. Absolutely.
Because nowadays it seems like to me, when we grew up and where we grew up in Lincoln Heights, we were surrounded by communities that were predominantly white.
Right. We were.
Reading, where they throw rocks at us.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was ran off the road once. I had in Reading. I had gone to take a test for a Boy Scout. It was a quiz for camping, I believe. And on the way back, a guy literally ran us off the road. And we had to jump in the ditch and things like that. And and coming back from Hartwell, the
Come back from
carnival down there.
Hartwell?
Yeah. Shots would be fired and stuff like that when we were coming back. And
Coming from the
that sort of
Carthage
thing.
Fair?
Yeah, coming back from the Carthage Fair. Yeah.
No, we had to walk from the Carthage
Oh yeah,
Fair.
we did. Right. No public transportation to get into Lincoln Heights at the time.
We had no. You
no
talked
buses.
about that there about the bus didn't come to Lincoln Heights until I remember when, first time I saw a bus, I thought something was wrong.
Yeah. Right.
Because when we were growing up, the bus stopped in Laughlin, which was a mile from home.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And you got up the hill the best way you could.
The best way you could. Yes.
Walked, hitchhike, whatever.
Right. The jitney. We had the jitney also. Yeah.
But I think the fact that we had the strongest thing we had was we had each other.
Right.
And we really had each other's backs. I know one time I was about to get in a fight with somebody with Lloyd Shackle. I remember it exactly. I was about to get in this fight with Lloyd Shackle in the Valley Homes. And Tootie and Gagey standing behind me. He wasn't going to win. He wasn't going to win.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to win that one.
No.
Because it's like those were like, in a sense, my protectors.
Right.
Because I was a little bitty guy. I weighed all of 90 pounds, 100 pounds maybe.
Yeah.
That didn't stop me from going that hole and it stopped me. Stop back my stuff back. Like,
Yeah.
get out of here. Hillary was supposed to be, quit dragging one in there, Lee. No. I just thought I saw opening. I tried to get through it. Tried to get it done.
Yeah.
They smack it back. Okay, I'm coming right back. But I had a little talent and had a lot of heart.
Yes.
Had to. If you're little, you have to be smart and have heart.
Oh
You
yeah.
don't have that, you ain't going nowhere. Now, if you ever nice went to GW, George Washington, right?
Right.
You're in the Hall of Fame there, right?
Yeah. I
You was telling me the other day about you about the doctor shot, right?
Oh yeah. Well, this is
He's probably still mad at you. Ain't he?
Yeah, I hope he's not. Yeah, we were playing an all-star game at Georgetown. This was during the summer, and Julius was on the opposite team. I mean, we had Charlie Scott, we had Manny Leaks, Fatty Taylor. I mean, it was like a ton of guys, who was in the ABA, who went to the ABA. As you know, Julius, that's where he first started, in the ABA. And Julius was just taking a shot, taking a jump shot. I mean, I was more surprised than he was. And when I blocked the shot and I went into the stands, it's like Julius gave me a look like, man, you better watch it. And I did. I watched it. I watched it because I knew I had played against Julius in college. So I knew what he was capable of. And plus, I saw him also, play with the Virginia Squires. And I know that he was all that and a bag of chips.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, but he was just a real, down to earth guy, so far as just human, he's just a regular guy who just had all this talent and he knew what to do with it.
Now, when you were coming out of high school, Boo, you were recruited by everybody, from what I heard. Now, I had heard UCLA had written you and Kentucky. Who else? Who else was?
University of Houston. Some of the trips that I took I came down to Houston for a visit, and I'm trying to think of the name of the guard they
That
had.
6'9" guard they had?
No. At the time, the guard I was talking about, he was about 6'2". His name would come to me, but he was 6'2", but he had, I would bet, about a 48-inch jump. And so, I mean, they had a dynamic squad. And, I came there. I went to Cincinnati. And I had mentioned to you at the time, if I had gone to Cincinnati, I would have been freshman with David Duke. And I just, as I look back, I mean, I didn't know at the time, but I found out, once he started to become big, that he went to Cincinnati. And he was there from 69 to 73. So I would have been there at the exact same time. Yeah, and I went to I visited a couple schools in South Carolina, went to Furman. I visited Furman.
You didn't visit Davidson?
I did not visit Davidson. It seemed like Terry Holland was at my house every other week.
I thought this is where you're going, because I think they had Mike Malloy was there at the time.
Right.
For some reason,
Yes.
I must have heard from Gagey or somebody, or Tootie or somebody. Because even though I left Lincoln Heights, we still used to run around and act crazy together.
Yes.
Do things we probably shouldn't have been doing together, but
Yeah.
we did.
Yeah. And also I visited Michigan.
Yeah.
And I went up during a football game. I actually saw Michigan play Illinois. And they had me up in the stands, and I said, that's a little too cold for me. I mean, it was like, I want something a little warmer than that. And actually, Michigan was playing Davidson that same weekend, and I got a chance to talk to Michael and Rudy, and so, but it was just a little too cold for me. I know I didn't really want to go somewhere that was that cold. And then finally, when I went to D.C. and
That
George
sounded like
Washington,
me in law school, because when I took the LSAT and about GPAs, my brother told me, Michael, just GPA in your LSAT score. You go to Harvard. I said, man, I don't want to go to Harvard. It's too cold up there.
Yeah.
I had enough of snow.
I hear you.
I had enough. And when I went to law school at SMU, January, and never forget, in January of 1975, it snowed.
Wow.
And I was mad. And I said, I didn't go far enough south.
Yeah.
I didn't want to see any more snow. That was my criteria, because I've applied Washington University in St. Louis, Sanford University in Alabama. I knew St. Louis snowed. That was out. Stanford and SMU. I thought SMU would be a safe bet not to be snowed on. That's all I wanted, just to be away from snow.
Yeah.
I don't like it now.
Yeah. I'm not crazy about it either.
I don't go home too much. I was never too much on going home in the winter.
Yeah, same here.
Summertime I go, but wintertime, it's not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
So what you doing now? Where are you now? You in Virginia?
Yeah, I'm in Virginia. I'm in Chesapeake, Virginia, and I work for Verizon, Fios tech support. Something I've been doing for a number of years. I was a juvenile probation officer. I started off in Cincinnati, and I worked there for a year, and then I relocated back to the D.C. area, and worked with the court systems, like I said, for about 25 years. And when I quit working for the court system, it was right in time. Old Dominion University were recruiting for people who didn't have any computer backgrounds in order to get ready for the Y2K virus. So I was one of the selectees. They were looking for 15 people in order to put through a boot camp. And so I was selected to go through the boot camp. And so that was quite challenging, not knowing anything about computers, and then to learn how to program on a mainframe. So, just some skills that I would never be able to put back to use.
Hey, but we're friends on Facebook. And every time I look, most times I look on my Facebook, you're somewhere new. Where all have you traveled?
Oh, wow. Well, I've been a lot of places.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you about some of my most memorable trips.
Tell me about you've been to Spain?
Been to Spain.
How
yes.
was that?
Well, Spain was like quite unique. Matter of fact, I was just recently in Spain, and it's always helpful when you travel somewhere to speak some of their language. It's that, but if you speak the language or not, there's always going to be someone who's going to help you. But it's always best just to know a little bit. To say, well, I don't speak Spanish, or I don't speak French, or that sort of thing, in order just to take sort of the edge off. Spain was very, very unique. I had a really, really good time, and we spent a couple of days actually on one of the Canary Islands, the Gran Canaria, and we ended up there by mistake. My wife had booked a resort on a different island, but we didn't know that. So once we got to Gran Canaria, we tried to get a cab to the resort. The guy said, "I can't take you there." I said, "What do you mean you can't take us there?" He said, "It's not on this island." He said, "You got to get a boat or get back on the plane to go back there." But it was really a unique place. The people were, it's friendly. It was like
Is that where Hagler is?
I'm not really
I don't know
sure.
if Hagler went to Spain or Italy.
Oh, okay.
Wherever
okay.
he went, we haven't heard from him
Yeah,
anymore.
okay. Yeah, well, we're going to Italy also, and we stayed in not far from the Pope. We were like, and it was it's quite kind of interesting. Getting going to a ceremony that the Pope presided over. It was like a grand parade. You bring people in, and the Pope comes in, and just the whole deal. It was quite unique. It really was. And the city of Rome is just fantastic with the sights and the ruins, and that was really neat. I really enjoyed that. We're supposed to be going back in October. So this time we're going with someone who works for my wife, who's from Rome. So we're going to get a little hometown.
Oh, yeah, real tour.
Yeah, real tour. Like on the last night that we were there, they kind of like took us to the, where we would be going, if we had known where to go, sort of like off the beaten path, that sort of thing. So that was, that was interesting. But I would have to say one of the most unique places I've ever gone was to when I went to Iceland.
Iceland?
Yeah. Iceland was it was really
That's
something. Yeah.
All the way at the top.
All the way at the top. Yes, and it was I was a little intimidated. I went there by myself, and some friends were coming up later, but I was there for a few days by myself, and I'd never felt so welcome anywhere I've ever been, ever, than I felt in Iceland. And the people were just, they were just unique people. They were just like the real deal. I met a guy there in Iceland who was from England, and he was trying to get a job. He was trying to stay there. And he told me, this was a couple of years ago, he told me that something was going to jump off so far as with the Indian tribes, because he had spent some time in Colorado. So he kind of foresaw what's going on now in South Dakota, so far as the tribes coming together, and but Iceland was it was really a unique place, and I would certainly recommend anybody to go there. Just go there for a few days and just feel that warmth
Is it cold?
It really wasn't that cold, but of course, it does get cold. I wouldn't want to be up there in the dead of winter. We were up there kind of like September, October like.
Yeah, but didn't you tell me that it stays light along? That's not much darkness.
Oh yeah, yeah, and that was the unique thing. It was light to about 10 p.m. There was still sunlight till about 10 p.m. And I would look out the window and check my watch. I said it couldn't still be light. It was still light, and that was kind of unique. Having those extra hours, so to speak, and yeah, that was real interesting. And I went up there for they have this tourist attraction that's called the Fountain of Youth. So I had a friend that said, "Oh yeah, you got to go to the Fountain of Youth. Go to the Fountain of Youth." And I said, "Okay, I got to go." So it's like a tourist attraction, really. It's something that's like a pool, I guess. If you so far as you follow, some of the scripture in the Bible where the water gets stirred up once or twice, once, and you go in, you get healed. It's not quite like that, but it was quite an experience, and I certainly enjoyed that trip. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So you're going back in the fall?
yeah.
You said you're going back to Spain in the fall. Huh?
Well, no, we're going back to Italy in October, and I haven't quite decided where I'm going to go in August. I'm thinking possibly.
What you do? A place a month or something?
Well, no, it's just a matter of I don't know. My wife works for an airline, so that's a big plus there. And you have your bucket list, things that you want to do, things you want to see, and I just try crossing them off.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So in August, again, I'm thinking about possibly Amsterdam, just to check it out. Spend a few days there. We've been to London, and I love London. I really did. I know the wife really fell in love with it. It's so formal. It's like our suitcases were 2 days behind us, right? So when you go out to eat, everybody's dressed up, suit and tie and whatever, and there we were. you know? But when our clothes finally made it, I couldn't wait to dress up. And it's just like that whole atmosphere. It's like, man, I want to be there. I want to be a part of that. I want to do that. And we saw, several of the castles, and we went to the what was that? Wow, I'm drawing a blank now. Wow, it'll come back to me. The little, the temples like things. What are they called? Man, I'm drawing a blank. But anyway, yeah, they have like a little tourist route for you to go, and of course they speak English, so that's a big advantage when you go somewhere like that.
Now your brother Greg, and looking at you is like almost like looking at Tootie for real. Y'all look more alike than you, more so than Chucky and
Right.
Tootie, you and Chucky.
Mm-hmm.
But Tootie's running Tootie has a chemical manufacturing company now?
Right. Yeah.
It used to be Vulcan. I don't know what it's called. You know the name of it?
No, I'm not really sure. I know he, I believe, sold the other business and started his own. But it's primarily still the same thing. They clean machines. They make machines more efficient through a process that they have.
Because he told me he was doing business in China.
Mm-hmm.
I think he told me he had something going on in China.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was home 4 years ago, he was going back and forth to Detroit a whole lot trying to get a contract, he said.
Right.
But he's still going at it, right?
Yeah, he's still at it. Yeah, yes, yeah. And proud grandfather. He has 3 grandsons. Like
3 grandsons?
Yeah, just almost like stepping, just like we did. Like we were 1, 2, 3. Our ages, because our spacing, and so he has 3 grandsons. There's a little gap between the oldest one and the youngest one, but
But
it's
it's
still the
2
same.
years between you and Chucky, right?
Well, actually, there's only it's 17 months.
I know it's
Yeah, 17 months between me and Chucky.
I know it's a year between,
and
kind
13
of like
months.
a year between you and Tootie.
Yeah, it's 13 months between me and Tootie, and 17 months between me and Greg. Me and Chuck.
You and Chucky.
Yeah. He was born in August, and I was born in
Okay.
January. Yeah. So yeah, something, man. Yeah, there was some interesting times growing up with those brothers. You know.
I just remember most of I went over to you guys' place quite a bit because Tootie used to play the organ.
Right. He played the organ.
Had me down there trying to play it.
Mm-hmm.
Green Onions by Booker T and them
Right.
G's?
Oh yeah.
You know he played that to death.
Oh yeah. He loved that one. He loved that. Yeah, he did.
Oh boy.
Yeah. We had some pretty good bands, you know, and
Let's see. Tootie played the organ. You played the
sax.
I don't think Chucky played it.
No, Chuck.
that
Chuck
I can
didn't play.
remember.
No, Chuck didn't play. Chuck actually he started off in dance classes. You know, that's how he started.
Chucky?
Off. Yeah, Chuck was in dance classes when he was young. Yes.
Oh man, that's hard to believe.
Yeah.
I know Chucky was the hardest dribbling guy on the basketball court that I've ever even heard about.
Yeah, and he wouldn't pass. He wouldn't pass
Oh
that
no,
ball.
but he used to dribble so hard, man, almost like it shook the floor.
Yeah.
He dribbled so hard, you didn't even want to try to stick your hand in and try to steal it. You might get it broken or something like that, because he pound that thing, man.
Yeah, it's really something, man. And say, hey, Chuck, pass the ball. No,
Nope.
No, but yeah, it was interesting, man. It's you know, the makeup of the teams and playing baseball with you know, with all the brothers. You know, I think it was like once or twice we were on the same team.
Yeah,
baseball team. Yeah.
I thought you and Tootie both played first base.
Well, no, I played first, and
Chucky was a catcher.
Chucky was a catcher, and Greg played. You know, it's interesting. What position did Greg play? I believe Greg played second, if I'm not mistaken.
Second?
Yeah, because I think it was Hawkins. Hawkins
Yeah,
played
Hawkins
shortstop. He played shortstop.
Boy, he had a glove.
Oh,
too.
he did. Yeah. Larry was.
He had a glove.
Yeah, he really
boy.
did. Yeah.
Serious
He
glove.
really did. Yeah. And we had some. You know, we had some good ball players. You know, Chuck. Like, you know, he went on to Bishop.
Went to Bishop on baseball.
Yeah, on the baseball scholarship, and I know one year he batted something like 500. I mean, he was just beating the cover off the ball. You know, he just had that timing. Now Greg could hit the ball a mile. Also,
Man,
you know?
Tootie used to knock that butt. Boy, when we used to play against Lincoln Heights when I was with Sweeney, man, when Tootie and Lowfield get up there,
Oh yeah.
we used to play up there at Western Electric and baseball field. You just used to go all the way back down there to go back to the street, and then maybe you'd get to come in.
Yeah.
Because
This guy,
he and Lowfield used to ride that ball, man.
Lowfield could hit the ball a country
He used to ride
mile.
that ball, man.
Yes.
Whew.
Yes, he did. And as you know, Lowfield, he excelled in football. He had moves like a Gale Sayers.
Lowfield was doing that. Lowfield used to do stuff, stick the ball in the hole and run out. Doing that stuff guys in the pros did when we was in the backyard.
Yeah. Lowfield's real talented. He's a real talented guy, you know. Yeah.
If I would have had to bet my money on who made in pro football, I would put my money on Lowfield, Tootie. I would have put my money on Gagey last.
Yeah.
But Gagey had a competitive spirit about him that they didn't. He had athletic talent, kind of like Lowfield, but Lowfield was bigger and stronger and faster,
Right.
and at least just as fast.
Right.
Now Tootie did not have their athletic ability, but he had. Tootie would turn you playing football. He turned your lights out.
Yeah. He could
real.
hit. He really could. Yeah. I think one thing about Stemrick is that Stemrick played up to the competition. I mean, I think Stemrick probably, you know, in high school probably could have ran some plays with the Bengals, you know, because he just whatever that talent was, he just uplifted himself, and he just kind of like, did he do that? You know, so Stemrick was also. I mean, he was just. Yeah, I think he was just a terrific. He was a terrific athlete all around. You know, basketball, baseball, and you know they won 3 state championships.
Yeah.
Their senior year.
Basketball, baseball, and track.
and they won track.
And he
yeah,
was on
they
all
won
that
track,
stuff.
and he's on all of it. And so was Lofell. Lofell also.
Yeah, Lofell.
Anchored those. Yeah, yeah. And we haven't mentioned Greg Reese. And Greg Reese was
Reese?
he was a.
Reese was the truth.
Yeah, he was like a predecessor to Magic. You know, he was that tall guard back in the day. You know, like 6'5" guard that can handle. Yeah, back in the day. You know,
Reese,
when we were in high school.
Reese could dribble that ball like he was 5'3".
Yeah,
Telling you,
yeah.
he could handle that rock.
Yeah,
Man.
Greg was really, really good.
I
Really
think
good.
Lofell put it best. Lofell told me one time, he said, Michael, he said, Reese is the only guy who can cross you with his back turned.
Yeah, he was something, man. He really was. And he actually when we lost out my senior year in the regional, Reese made the statement that we will be back, and they were back. They went all the way. I was there. I was in Columbus when they won the state championship. So.
Oh, you came back for that?
I came back for that. Yes. Yeah, I wouldn't miss that, man. You know, that was the end of Lincoln Heights. That was last year, and those guys went out with a bang, man.
They took it out right, man.
Yeah.
They did what was supposed to have been done. Gay always used to tell me that he thought that they should have won it your senior year and that year. He said we should have won 2 years in a row. Mike.
We should have. Of course, in hindsight, you know, of course, if you do things different, you know, I put most of it on my shoulder. You know, I fouled out of the game, and it was so dependent on me at that point. And so we lost, but it made the guys better. You know, like sometimes you hear about that. The same things in the pros, when so-called the best player goes out, the team just takes it up to another level. And that's what they did. They took it to another level, and I'm proud of all those guys. And they were inducted.
They got mad.
Yeah, they got mad.
They got mad.
Yeah, and they were inducted to Princeton, which
Hall
is
of Fame,
Princeton Hall of Fame, and well deserved.
Yeah.
Well deserved. You know.
Was I think Gary Crowley's son was AD.
Oh, okay.
You know, Crowley played on Sweeney's baseball team.
Okay. Yeah, Gary and I, we went to school together at St. Simon.
That was St. Simon.
Yeah, we went to St. Simon together, and I was good friends with his cousin. His name was Reggie Crowley, and they were kin to with Tony Yates.
Oh yeah.
And Tony Yates was Tony Yates. He was the
no
real
joke.
deal.
He wasn't no joke.
Yeah, he went to the University of Cincinnati, and they won national championship.
NCAA.
Yeah, they won national championship.
Him and Tom Thacker.
Yeah, and again back with the player, and they played with Oscar Robinson.
Yeah.
But they didn't win a championship with Oscar. But when Oscar left, then they won the championship. You know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't. Oscar didn't win a championship. Was that Yates and them that played against Jerry Lucas now?
Well, yes, but Jerry Lucas and them used to beat Oscar. They would beat them. They would make it to that same round every year, and Jerry Lucas and them would beat them until Tony and them. Yeah, they got over the hump. Yeah, they got over the hump. Man.
So Tony and them had basically kind of had a little better squad.
Yeah, they did. They did. Wayne Embry was on that squad. Paul Hogue. Yeah.
Wayne Embry, Paul Hogue, Tom Thacker, Tony Yates.
And I can't think of the fifth guy on that squad, but they, that was something, man. Watching Oscar, I saw Oscar play mini games. You know, we would go out and watch UC play, and
well, they used to play out there on the playground out there by UC too.
Yeah.
Oscar would be out there talking trash.
Yeah. yeah. Oscar's the dude, man. You know, like a lot of times, you know, now when they talk about the greatest and whatever, and if Oscar's not in the conversation, you know, I know the people really don't know what they're talking about. Because Oscar was a real deal. Oscar averaged triple. You know, like
Westbrook did.
Yeah, like Westbrook. Yeah, he averaged triple this year. But Oscar, that's he did it.
Career?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. He may have missed it 1 or 2 years, but that's what he was. That was
routine.
Yeah, that was routine for Oscar. Man. Yeah, Oscar was the real deal, man. You know, And I remember when they traded
That was crazy.
no, when they moved. Well, they traded him first.
They traded him for
I don't know who they got for him, man, but yeah, they traded
Larry
him.
Staverman or something.
Yeah, yeah,
I think Kuzi was coaching.
yeah,
The coach for the Royals at the time.
yeah. And I think that's where the conflict.
I think he was mad because Oscar broke his assist record.
I don't know what it was, but it was something. I read Oscar, and Oscar went on to Milwaukee.
With the Milwaukee won a championship.
Yeah, right, with Kareem.
Yeah.
Alcindor at the time. Yeah, yeah. So that was a heck of a squad, you know. With Bobby Dandridge, he was on that squad also.
He was on this one?
Yeah, Bobby Dandridge was on that squad also.
Well, weren't you after you left college, you were drafted by the Bullets?
Right, by the Bullets, yes. Elvin Hayes, Wes Unseld, Bobby Dandridge. It wasn't a whole lot of space there.
Yeah, man.
You know, I was just
Elvin Hayes, Wes Unseld, Bobby Dandridge,
right,
Phil Chenier.
right.
They didn't have no room for you, man.
No, I know. There was no room for me, man. There was no room, man, and I wasn't mad at them either. You know, I got the experience of
you were
working
drafted
out.
by the Bullets, and Derek Dickey got drafted by
Golden State.
Golden State.
Right. He was second round.
He was with Rick Barry. They won a championship.
Yeah, they won a championship, right. They certainly did. Before Steph and them, that was their last. I mean, before Steph and them won theirs, it was with Derek and them that they won the NBA title. Yeah. So.
I was at a pickup game up at Princeton one time I was home. Derek, we were playing pickup game. Derek was playing, and Skeet was playing.
Oh, okay.
And that's when I realized Derek Dickey was dangerous.
Yeah, Derek was the man.
Derek went up for a dunk, and Skeet went up the blocking, and
Right.
Derek
Yeah.
and Skeet pulled back, man. Well, I guess it's wind-up time. I want to thank you for appearing on my show, Big Boo. I know I hadn't seen you in about 50 years, but it was great to see you.
Thank you,
It was
Michael.
a blessing to see you.
Thank
I
you,
always say
Michael.
I'm honored to have guests. No, I am blessed. Trust me.
Well, thank you, Michael. It was,
That's the word to use.
It was quite an honor being here, and I wish you best of luck with the show going forward. And
I do the best I can.
yeah, just keep it up. Keep on keeping on, Michael.
I always say my thing. What's good for the black community is good for the community. And I'm all about trying to just do the right thing. Get it right. Thank you for joining, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you next Monday. I'm going to have the guys who the Israelites on next week, and we'll be talking about what they're about. Thank you for joining me. Have a good evening.